yesterday and later spoke out about it from the White House. What was his message to Americans? And do we know yet if he is planning any sort of visit to Illinois?
Yeah, Joe, this epidemic of gun violence really brought on what was a very celebratory atmosphere at the White House yesterday. The president hosting military families, as well as for the first time since taking office, White House staff and their families as well. The president gave remarks, formal remarks, in which he talked constantly about this idea of the United States engaged in that battle for the soul of it. Talked about how despite all the progress we've made as a country, there's also forces pulling us backwards. And this came up in the context. Listen to part of what the president had to say.
Before I left for you, I signed a law, the first real gun safety law in 30 years. Things.
All right, guys, welcome to today's show, guys. We got a heated show for you. Heated show, streaming live on Twitch. Following Twitch tonight will be uploaded on the Rumble app, as well as True Social, and also our audio podcast platforms on Spotify and others, guys. Welcome to tonight's show. We got a heated one, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Broadcasting from the Big Peach of Atlanta, Georgia. A show unfiltered, unscripted, raw. The Patriot Angle Podcast.
I'm taking your response to this hour is close to 35 to 45 minutes of a response time, correct? I mean, literally.
Yeah.
But
Well, it reminds me of the olden days when if you watch any cowboy movies and stuff, the response time took so long they had to wait about a day for the sheriff to even get out there. So by everybody was dead and even the doctors and stuff. I feel like I'm already in the old western cowboy movie where
the old western,
Yep.
Exactly. The sheriff is taking forever to get there. The crows are feasted on the carcass already on the side of the dirt road. I mean, literally,
Yeah.
We're going back to the wild, wild west of colonial
Madison.
America here.
Madison.
Crazy shit. I got some sound clips here, Sauce. I'm gonna plug in here. In because if you did pay attention, folks, to the intro here of the video, now Biden and Sauce, feel free to comment and come in here on this if you want. Biden is now urging folks, guys, that he's urging Americans to vote to combat gun violence after this past weekend. And then, of course, in Highland Park, and then now in a connection of Madison, Wisconsin. He wants to combat gun violence. Why doesn't he combat mental illness? Why is that not an issue? It's plain and simple. Guys, I couldn't agree anymore. I hope you guys tuned in to last night's show with me and Soslan on the show. We were literally tackling this issue. A developing story coming out of Highland Park in possibly connection with Madison, Wisconsin. Highland Park in Illinois, Madison, Wisconsin, right? So, it's still a developing story. We got really into that last night on the show, guys. Really into it. I want to say something here, guys. We have to tackle gun issue. Okay? This is not my main talking point for tonight. I am going to get into the latest disturbance coming out of my home state here in Georgia. Which is not too far from, where I currently reside. A lot of people come into calling it America's Stonehenge, right? Literally being destroyed by some local idiot or possibly a local idiot. We don't know where the hell he's from. We do have a sound clip here. We will plug into the show momentarily that now the GBI wants the public to help identify who destroyed Georgia's Guidestones. Now, folks, these Guidestones, Stonehenges, panels, however you want to say it, they've been up for a while now, guys, okay? And some jackass decided to take his own liberty of going over with a pickup truck and setting off some type of possibly small C4 bombs of some sort to literally try to blow up the Stonehenges here in Georgia. It's crazy, guys. The amount of chaos that's going on in this country. Crazy, guys. I can't say more. Check out this video. We're going to plug in this sound clip here. This is sick, guys. Sick. I also have, before we plug in the sound clip here, I also have a touching topic we'll get in later in tonight's show with Disney's Buzz Lightyear, the voice changers, the voiceovers for that. Guys, we got two big topics here on the show. But first, guys, let's plug in this video here of what the hell's going on with Georgia's Stonehenge. Check this out, guys.
We have some new details now on that breaking news we first told you about yesterday coming out of Elbert County, an explosion destroying popular Georgia Guidestones. Now, the GBI has released new video hoping you can help them find who did it. Take a look right now. You can see this huge blast, then a car seen leaving the scene just moments after that. All of this happened around 4 a.m. yesterday and left a large portion of the monument destroyed. Crews spent the day tearing down what was left of the structure, often called America's Stonehenge. The stones were inscribed with 10 guiding principles, each etched in stone using different languages from all around the world. The meaning behind the Guidestones has been unclear since that structure was built. If you can help the GBI in their investigation, you are urged to call their Athens office or the Elbert County Sheriff's Office.
Yeah, you're urged to call, guys. It's a developing story. Wow. But, guys, we're talking about, just what's going on here. We got into it a little bit last night, with the violence here. I want to plug in a little bit. With what me and Sos were talking about last night. We'll plug that in a little bit. But, guys, a developing story here with America's Stonehenge. Now damaged in an explosion. Folks, these are scriptures written all over the world from different languages. Destroyed. But jackasses will be jackasses, right, guys? I will be taking some comments into the show. For those who are tuning in live here on Twitch, please leave your comments, your concerns on this very, very developing story here out of the state of Georgia here. America's, what they call it, America's Stonehenge, damaged in an explosion. Like I said, you can see the footage here that I plugged into the show. A gentleman, possibly a gentleman, it could be a female. We don't know. It's hard to tell from the pictures. Driving off in a pickup truck. Terrible stuff. Also want to encourage the listeners out. Please follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitch, and now True Social, guys. Means a lot. Thank you for your following and your support here to the show. But guys, what the hell? These are historic monuments being destroyed by jackasses who can care two shits. about the meaning behind America. Literally. Yeah. I'm going to get uncensored here on this topic. Because it needs to stop. The violence, the chaos in this country needs to stop. When is it going to stop? It's almost a moment of time, guys. Almost a moment of time before we lose our country. Literally. We are on the breaking point of losing our country. Literally. Literally. America's Stonehenge. The panels here in Georgia, destroyed. And you see a local construction company knocking down what was left of it, of the explosion. When is it going to stop? When is the leadership going to get involved and bring in real justice to America? When is the local authorities going to step in and do what's right? When? Are they going to get involved? When? You know, folks, for those who are new to the show, a lot of people come to understand me as a podcaster that shows heart, passion for what I explain here on my show. I explain the literally the most highest of corruption in this country. I am willing to show you what mainstream won't show you on their airwaves. Why? Because it needs to be exposed, ladies and gentlemen. We live in a divided nation full of divided bureaucrats, or excuse me, let me rephrase that and retract from my statement. As you can see, I'm getting a little heated up, but I have to get a glass of water or iced tea. Okay? We live in a nation that these corrupted bureaucrats, there we go, are doing to our country. They're dividing us. They're influencing hate amongst us to hate one another. Why? Why the greatest country on the face of Mother Earth would do this? Why would we want to do this to ourselves? Why? Please. The panel's open on Twitch here. If you're joining on Twitch, give me your concerns. I'd love to hear it. Because I want to know what America thinks of this country, what America thinks of our politics, what American citizens think of this crap that we are dealing with. I tell you, when will it stop? When will it stop? When will we get on our high horns and let the rest of America know that we're fed up? We're fed up with this crap. I got more of what we were talking about, me and Sos, on last night's show. Check this out, guys. More on this. Sos, plain and simple. Why is he not combating the mental illness? That is the real issue of America right now. We have mental illness is the biggest crisis right now in America. Biggest. It's terrible.
So
it's really bad.
And I just don't really understand. Well, January 6th committee is already going to July. Do you see that after 2 weeks, you see we're going down the path now?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. Yeah.
What's next? It's going to go into July and then or August, and it's going to go all the way up to the election. And that's a vote to save democracy. That's their theme.
That's their theme, right, folks? That is their theme. We have to save democracy. We have to save it all. We have to make America better. As long as it's not under Donald Trump's direction, right? As long as it's not under Donald Trump's direction. This is the sick, demented crap that we go through here in America. This is what we have to go through every single day of our lives. The sick, demented nausea. Yeesh Keats, Jewish, meaning like, what? You get the direction, right? Guys, when is it going to stop? When is the violence going to stop here in America? When? Now, I want to get into a little bit more here before I close out with this topic with the Stonehenge panels here in Georgia. It's still a very, very developing story, guys. Still a developing story with these Stonehenges in Georgia. Now destroyed by some idiot in a pickup truck that decided to, oh, it's cool, let me go destroy this. Whatever his demeanor was. Maybe he didn't agree with the scriptures on the panel. It doesn't matter if you agree with it. That's an historic landmark. Why doesn't people respect our monuments? Why can't we have individual respect in this country? Why? Why? Why can't we have it? Terrible. Terrible. These beautiful panels now destroyed. But people like Anderson Cooper of CNN and others would just say, oh, these are just panels. These are just panels. It doesn't mean anything. They're just panels. It means something because they're put up there for a reason, you jackass. They're put up there for people to honor it. Just because you don't honor it, just because you don't believe in it and look at it with respect doesn't necessarily mean you have the right to blow it up or destroy it. You know, every country in the world, folks, they represent culture. They represent the true meaning behind that culture. They don't blow things up. They might have differences of opinion, but they still respect the culture. I can tell you right now, you go to a country anywhere in this world, they respect their culture. You want to fact check it? Go ahead. Because I'm challenging anybody out there to fact check that. Now, as me and Sos last night were basically talking about violence here in America, we got onto the gun rights, right? The local gun rights here, the Second Amendment. We got into it pretty heavily, guys. Pretty heavily. Okay, and Sos does agree that we do have a mental health issue. Okay, we do. We have a mental health issue in this country. It's terrible. You want to talk about a real pandemic, a real crisis facing this country? Talk about the mental health issue in this country. It's affecting everything in our lives, everything that we see around us, like a 190-degree angle. Everything is being affected by mental illness in this country, whether it's gun violence, whether it is armed robbery, whether it is breaking and entering, whether it is anything in this country, is related mostly to mental illness, which is it's extremely high. It's at record highs right now, folks. Record highs. We're talking about this idiot that decided to blow up a historic monument that's sitting here in Georgia, no longer sitting here in Georgia. You think this was a person of just of sane altitudes, a sane demeanor? Do you think that this person just decided that he was okay and everything else, and he didn't have a problem, and he just blew up the freaking monument? No, this is a person that suffers mental health. Why am I heated up? Because I'm sick and fed up with it. That's why. That's why. It's sick and it's disturbing. Now, I got a that's tuning in here, on which we will plug in the comments here from Could Do Anything. Basically saying here that, do you see all these great buildings? Reply Jesus, not one stone here will be left on another. Everyone will be thrown down. You know, this could do anything is absolutely right. It is a scripture in the Bible that that it was said in the Bible. It said, another one. As Jesus was leaving the temple, one of his disciples said to him, "Look, teacher, what massive stones, what magnificent buildings." You know, I do appreciate the comments coming in. Could do anything. Thank you very much. I noticed that you're a new viewer here on the show. Please follow the show. I do put out amazing content. So thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Guys, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Are we going to have a problem with putting up any future monuments in this country? Are we going to have a problem with it? Are we going to have a problem, and are we going to be worried that by putting up these future monuments or buildings or sculptures or whatever, that they're going to be destroyed in the end? Are we going to have a problem? Are we going to have that on our mindset where we're going to have to worry about it being destroyed? Do we have to put up fences with barbed wire or electric current going through the fences to protect these monuments, whether you agree with the meaning behind it or message behind it? Are we going to have to go to that extreme level? Have we become a country where we have to protect our monuments? Seriously, ask that question to yourself. America, ask that question. Because don't get me wrong, folks, there is a lot of monuments in this country that I may not agree with, whether it's going back to the Civil War era of America, the Revolutionary War, hell, even going back to the colonial 13 colonies of America. There is a lot of message and meaning behind those monuments that I do not agree with. But do you see me taking C4? Do you see me taking things to either destroy or vandalize these monuments? No. You know why? You know why I don't do this? Well, one, I don't suffer from high levels of mental illness. I don't. And two, I respect that statue or monument because it shares a purpose behind it. It shares a purpose behind it, folks. Why can we not respect culture in this country? I'd love to have somebody please comment on it. Please. Because I feel that, mainstream has influenced and brainwashed our mindset to where we're no longer allowed to even give feedback anymore in this country. They've made us so afraid of giving feedback to questions that get addressed across the board. Guys, before I get into my next topic here, because I want to get into the Disney's decision to literally change course on the direction of Disney's Buzz Lightyear. I seen that story come out earlier today. Mainly, I seen the Georgia Stonehenge, America's Stonehenge here, and there's other Stonehenges in America. There's some up in Massachusetts. You could look at Plymouth Rock as a Stonehenge. But, this main story today took to the heart because I'm a huge advocate for historic monuments, sculptures, just history alone. Historic history, I'm a sucker for. Love it. And when I see things that are destroyed, that've been there for a long time, or vandalized, it strikes the core here, guys. It really does. Really does. So I want to get into the Disney's Buzz Lightyear story. I'm not sure if anybody's seen it or what I'm talking about. There's a huge, and we'll switch to panels here in a minute. There's a huge, literally a huge Disney turmoil going on with Buzz Lightyear. The new voice of Buzz Lightyear, if anybody realized or came to their understanding, is being voiced by no other than Tom Hanks, which Tom Hanks now is doing the voiceovers for Buzz Lightyear. I heard a clip earlier today, which we don't have here on the show. We will plug into our social media. There's an actual clip. Yeah, an actual clip where Tom Hanks, guys, is actually doing the voice of Buzz Lightyear. Fascinating. You guys got to check that out. But yeah, guys, I don't understand the meaning behind the decision with the voiceover. I'm not sure why there was a voiceover. There's rumors of why he possibly, or Disney, let me retract the question. Retract the statement, excuse me. One sec. I got to get something to drink up. Heat it up on the show. But there was some rumors of why Disney has gone to this route. Mainly towards the wokeness. I'm not going to lie, guys. Disney has been losing money over this new agenda that they've been pushing, which we covered on the podcast going back a few episodes here with Jimmy the Rant. I've covered this with Tommy Nation on my show. Tommy Nation Politics have been on my show about this, with this new push into America with transphobia, transgender. The LGBTQ plus movement has been a has been a full effect with Disney. So possibly, I'm not saying it, guys. I've heard rumors, through the grapevine, the little birdie. I've heard rumors of why they decide to go with Tom Hanks with the new voice of Buzz Lightyear. There was a whole thing that came out with Buzz Lightyear that they're going to try to make him a homosexual, which, guys, I did a whole show on homosexuality and, why they shouldn't push this crap into Disney. This is a family-oriented company, or at least I thought it was. That's why I thought it was. Now they have people, same sex, kissing each other on set. And is it turmoil? Yeah, it's Disney turmoil. Disgusting. Anybody seen the Dallas event that happened last month with parents bringing their children to an adult nightclub in downtown Dallas? Yeah. Media didn't really touch on that. Or the ones that were touching on that topic, that covered the topic, they said that it's up to the parents' discretion. Okay. Sure. You bring the children to an adult nightclub, and then in a couple years later, they wonder why the children grow up to have mental illness. There's always that question, guys. Always that question, right? Always. And I'm going to get more into this topic here because we're talking about mental illness. We talked about the Georgia Stonehenge. Now we're talking about Disney turmoil. I do want to piggyback on mental illness into the show because I think it needs to be addressed in this country. Guys, I got a lot to talk about on this show. I got to get a quick break in here, guys, but don't go anywhere. I want to get more into this mental illness topic here on the show. I think it doesn't get addressed enough on mainstream and also social media, including regular podcasting. I think it needs to be addressed, guys, but I got to get a quick break in. Don't go anywhere.
I'm Eric Greitens, Navy SEAL, and today we're going rhino hunting. The rhino feeds on corruption and is marked by the stripes of cowardice. Join the MAGA crew. Get a rhino hunting permit. There's no bagging limit, no tagging limit, and it doesn't expire until we save our country.
Michael Gardner, Unfiltered.
All right, guys, we're back here on the show of shows. I want to get into this. I want to get into this mental illness a little bit more here before we close it out. Those who've seen the break here, damn good supporter of him. He's running for senator. Please give him your support. We need to save this country. We need to get rhinos out of office without a doubt. I totally agree with that. We need to get the rhinos out of office. They're literally Democrats in disguise, turncoats of what people used to call them before the rhino basically got into presence, which we will touch here briefly on the show, rhinos and why it needs to be addressed so much, guys. But, we're talking about the Disney stuff, right? We're talking about Buzz Lightyear. We're talking about, the new voiceover with Tom Hanks now at the helm with the voice of Buzz Lightyear. So, that's their decision, I guess, whatever. But, let's get into a little, with the mental illness. It's affecting Disney. It's also affecting our culture. I mean, everything that we see now with mental illness, right? It starts usually mental illness, folks, is usually it usually gets started at a young age. It's usually influenced through parents, through society. A lot of people are like, society has more of an impact with mental illness than parents bring it into a children's life. You do have to blame society, but you also have to blame the parenting. You have to. If it's not society, what else is doing it to individuals? It's parenting. I see kids today, folks, that are so mentally disturbed. There's parents that just don't give a shit about the welfare of their child. It's terrible of what I see. I'll give you an example. I was at the grocery store earlier today doing my weekly groceries, right? Went in the grocery store, and I'm seeing a child, probably no young than probably maybe 5 or 6, 7 years old. I mean, she's tugging at her mom. She's trying to get her mom's attention. The mom is so, wrapped up in, what she's doing. She's not even paying attention to her child. Literally not even paying attention. She's going down the aisle, looking at the aisles, looking at the shelves, the products. And then she's on her cell phone and all over the place, not even paying attention. There's other people in the store literally saying the same thing that I'm saying. And the child then literally goes up to the mother and says to the mother, "Mom, did you fucking listen to what I'm saying? I want the fucking peanut butter and jelly brand. I don't like that store brand." This is a young kid cursing her mother off at, like I said, maybe 5, 6, possibly 7 years old. You'll understand what I mean by the mental illness. The mental illness to this child is caused by incorrect parenting. Now, a lot of people are probably going to question me and say, no, Michael, it's because she hears it on TV and this and that. You're probably right. The little girl, she probably heard it on TV. The parents probably let the child watch whatever she watches, or they don't pretty much monitor their children. Okay, which is another thing. There has to be more parenting. I think if there's more parenting in this country, now in today's society than it was 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago, you wouldn't have half the shit that you see today. Really. There's really little to no parenting now these days. Little to no parenting. You got kids today that play video games, which pretty much is like the modern digital nanny, if you want to call it that. I remember, guys, I'm not a dinosaur, obviously. We did have video games when I grew up, Nintendo and Atari shit. Now I'm starting to show my age here on the show. We had that then, guys. We had the Nintendo, we had the Atari, we had all that stuff. But I think what separates my generation today versus the generation that you see here in the country is that you actually had parents that gave a shit. You had parents that actually parent and guided their children into what children need to learn. What do you have today? Look at the grocery store parent that's not paying attention to their children. that's more worried about some dude or some woman flaunting their shit on TikTok, Instagram, and social media. They're more worried about that than paying attention to their children. I see it every single day. You can just look at our culture today. It's a melting pot. You go to TikTok right now and you see 90% of TikTok videos right now are for women literally advertising sex on social media. Literally. TikTok is nothing but a huge billboard for sexual content. I see it every single day. And then what does that do, folks? That goes to the children. The children see it. So, am I going to a part where I'm like, we should ban some stuff where children don't get exposed to it? No, we can't do that. We can't become a society where we're going to basically censor every little thing. Christ, you have censorship now on social media. It's terrible. That I don't agree with. That violates free speech. It does. Which we're becoming a country of, we're basically third world. Sas and I got into that literally last night on my show. We're literally becoming third world. Literally, third world. We're losing our freedoms. We're losing our liberties. We're losing everything that we hold for granted here in this country. So do I believe in literally censoring everything? No, I don't believe in censoring everything. What I do believe in censoring is stuff that children as young as 5, 6, 7 years old should not see. They shouldn't. Now, a lot of people will come to disagree with me on this and say, well, Michael, they're going to see it one way or another. You're absolutely right, but not at 5, 6 years old. When they're 5 and 6 years old, kids should start, when you're 5, 6 years old, kids should be looking at like children's programming. That's what they should be doing. Not looking at stuff that's made for somebody that's maybe 13 or 14 years old. That's a whole different ballgame. You want to end children growing up to be violent, homeless on the street, selling drugs, parent them right at a young age. I'm telling you, folks, try it. Works like wonders. Parents need to parent their children correctly, and you would not see half of our population now, kids. Now we're in 2022, right? Children, go back 22 years ago when they were born in the early 2000s, which was like a melting pot to them for mass of exposure to what we're seeing now with children. They become this because the parents allow them to look at violent video games, violent movies, and such like that, where they actually go into society and think it's okay. It's really sick, folks, that you have people in society now, literally 22, 21, 20-year-olds now that were born in this new millennium, that were born in the 2000s. It's sad. It's sad. Oh, no, Michael, they understand the difference. Oh, they do. They do. If they understood the difference between reality and fiction, there wouldn't be any issues, right? You wouldn't have gun issue. You wouldn't have half the shit that you see today. Look at the generations, folks. Look at the generations. Look at your generation when you grew up. Did we have a lot of mass shootings? Did we have a lot of homelessness? Did we have high historic levels of mental disturbance? No. There was. Of course, there's always been homelessness. There's always been people that suffer mental illness. It just didn't exist with a snap of a finger in the last 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, guys, I was born, but I wasn't born yesterday. I understand. I'm just using that as an example. We as a society and culture have evolved into a third world principle of a society. We are more third world in this country than ever before. This country now is showing high levels of socialism and high levels of communism under this president that we have in office. And I'm not saying that because I don't support his policy. I don't support his message. And I sure as hell don't support the Democratic base of principle. I think they are evoking third world principles into this country. This country was a lot safer under the leadership of Donald Trump than it is under Joe Biden. I constantly, and I don't do this out of spite. I don't do this out of anger. I constantly try to find the Biden supporter or voter that voted for this leadership, that voted for this agenda. And when I do, I ask one question. Sometimes I ask several questions, depending on the person's character, on how they feel about politics alone. Now, I ask one question when I do find a Biden supporter. What difference do you see under the leadership of Joe Biden versus the leadership of Donald Trump? Now, when I ask that one question, which is usually the first question, a lot of supporters, a lot of his following, if he does have a following, which I don't believe that this president got 81 million fucking votes. This president, they say, got more votes than Barack Obama, George W., and Donald Trump. Yeah. Show me the proof. We all know it was bullshit, guys. We're still fighting that battle. But they cannot explain. They can't explain the differences. They look at you with 5 different heads. And they're like, well, he's a better president than Joe Biden. Or excuse me, he's a better president than Donald Trump. So let me get this straight. We voted for a president because this president that we have in office doesn't say mean tweets, is more politically correct. Okay. But still, this is a president that's telling you that we need to do what's right for the democracy of our country, which I cannot stand. Folks, we do not live in a democracy. We live in a constitutional republic. The Democrats want you to think that we live in a democracy. When are we going to wake up, folks, and understand that things that are happening in our country every single day, we just had monuments that were blown to pieces late yesterday here in Georgia. We just had a shooting up in Highland Park, Illinois, in connection with Madison, Wisconsin, in the last several days. When are the people of this country going to wake the fuck up? When? Folks, the timing is narrowing down in this country. We need to secure our freedoms and liberties before it is stripped away from this radical Democratic Party and also rhinos. The rhinos are just no better than the common radical left Democrat. When is it going to get people to wake up, understand what the hell we are going through as a country? When are people going to wake up and smell the coffee? When? When we have shit like this, literally, right? We are becoming the political prisoner. You have a president the other day that was reminded to say Happy 4th of July. You know what the man said? Merry 4th of, the thing. Folks, we are becoming a laughingstock of the world. Do you understand the images that I'm showing here? For those who are listening here on Spotify and my audio podcast platforms, obviously you can't see the graphics that I'm showing here on the live show on Twitch, but those who are tuning into the Twitch show, this is the imagery of what this country is being represented to. Images with women such as this protesting, saying, let's mandate vasectomies. That life begins at ejaculation. Folks, the political prisoner. Remember that. We are becoming the political prisoner. It's terrible. Terrible, folks. Terrible. You can also look at this. That the true virus of this country, the virus that is killing America every single day, COVID 2020. The virus has been alive since the year of 2020. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse every single day until we invoke the 25th Amendment on Joe Biden. We need to remove him from office. I was looking at a video the other day with Hollywood celebrity John Voight, right? Voight, is that how you pronounce his name? You know who I'm talking about. The father of Angelina Jolie. Now, a lot of people don't know that he is the father of Hollywood liberal Angelina Jolie. Now she's a liberal and he is a conservative patriot. That's what you can call him, a conservative patriot. He feels, and I strongly, strongly agree with his message, that our country is falling apart. This president has done wrong to our country. What is he fixing? John Voight went into a very, very, very accurate measure of our country's definition. He tackled mental illness. He tackled high levels of crime and violence in this country. And he tackled one statement that I absolutely agreed with. That this president is doing nothing to combat any of our true issues that's facing this country. Now, it's a true blessing that we're not in a foreign war. Yes, there is a conflict between Ukraine and Russia, but it has really nothing to do with our country. Thank God. Thank God that this corrupted man at the White House, Joseph Biden, has not steered us down that path. Thank God. But we are in a war, folks. It may not be foreign, but we are in a war, actually several wars. We are in a domestic battle for the sovereignty to preserve our liberties and freedom in this country. We are in a war with the enemy within the enemy. We are becoming our own enemy in American politics today. How do we solve these issues, folks? How do we solve the conflicts in our country? How do we combat our own issues? Now, a lot of people will race through the theory that maybe we need to establish a new law and order system. Maybe we need to establish a parliamentary system versus a constitutional republic. I'm not going to lie, folks. I thought that was not a bad idea quite recently, that maybe we should establish a parliamentary system. But what I did realize and what I did find out is it's not always good to establish new systems. The systems that we have in this country work. They work when they want it, when we want them to work, right? But folks, here's how we can fix all of it. Plain and simple. We can fix everything, folks. Everything. We can fix it. So we don't have to go down paths like this, which I'll plug into the show. For those who follow me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, True Social, I do plug in a lot of social media content of how I see our country, both on a good and a bad scale. Check this out, guys. This right here is how we are splitting ways, okay? And I'm basically going to narrow it down. Our society, literally, folks, is in a spiritual awakening. For those who understand this in a spiritual tense, will get what I'm talking about. Our society is split in half, literally. You can look at this picture as a clear example where there are two gentlemen wearing two jackets, all right? Mainly heavy metal bands, AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, just for a small example. Hell, it doesn't matter what type of jackets they're wearing, but I'll just basically explain that we split ways here. We're looking at our society like this, as there are two stairs, there is a stairway to heaven, and there's a highway to hell. Now, you could take either route in life. You could take the stairway to heaven, or you could take the highway to hell. Now, if you take either or, you're gonna get the consequence, whether it's on a good scale or a bad scale. That is our society, folks, in a nutshell. Literally. Also, folks, guys, I do want to basically announce that starting tonight, we will be having brand new products being added to our website. We have a merchandise website for those who are not aware of that, which I try to plug in a lot here on the show. In the description on Spotify, you can head over to www.patriotunfiltered.com. That's right, guys. Again, www.patriotunfiltered.com. and get all of your unfiltered merchandise from the show. We got a lot of great stuff on that website. I highly suggest you tune into it. For the conservative fan there that supports freedom and liberties, this website, folks, is for you. Check it out. You're going to love it. We're going to bring in some promo codes starting next Monday that will be launched here on the show. Got some really, really good promo codes for the website to save you some money, save you the free shipping, 10, 20, 15% off. Hell, I think we're even going to go up to 50% off on a lot of our products here on the website. You're going to want to check it out, guys. Really, really good stuff. I know a lot of people are facing financial struggles now more than ever. Trust me, guys, I feel the burden. We here on the podcast, we've been going through some different types of struggles on our side too as well. So I do understand the burden, guys. I understand what you're going through. I also want to say that thank you to our big supporter here of the show, Amazon Music, which you can find us on Amazon Music at I said it backwards. Bear with me. You can find us on Amazon. If you go over to Amazon Music and search Patriot Angle Podcast, or if you have an Alexa device, simply just say, "Hey, Alexa, play the Patriot Angle Podcast Unfiltered," and it will pop up to the current episode, guys. Really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. So really, really proud of having Alexa part of our show here. True honor. Thank you very much, Amazon. Also, too, guys, we have a big promo code. Big. I'm talking about big, guys. For those who enjoy Amazon Music Premium. Now, this is for all you guys that love the premium service through Amazon Music. Through our podcasts, you can get an awesome deal. Awesome deal. By going over to getamazonmusic.com/the Pangle. And you're going to get the first 30 days for free. For free. That's right, guys. getamazonmusic.com/the Patriot Angle, and you're going to get the first 30 days for free. Premium stuff, unlimited forwards in the song playlist. You can create playlists. Everything is on Amazon Music. Get that code, that promo code, and you're getting the first 30 days on us, guys. Big promo code. Really, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Also want to get another sponsor here on the show, Helium 10. We love them, guys. Go over to helium10.com, okay? Put the promo code Patriot10, and you're going to get 10% off each month after you sign up as being an exclusive member through our website. We're throwing out that promo code, guys. Helium10.com. Hit the promo code Patriot10, 10% off every single month, guys. Also, too, if you sign up through Helium 10, hit that promo code Patriot50 and you get 50% off. Phenomenal stuff, guys. Phenomenal. Just wanted to throw out those sponsors, those promo codes. We're ready to wrap it up, guys. I do want to thank you for tuning in to tonight's show. True honor having you guys. Thank you very much for all my new followers and viewers here through the Twitch panel. Please hit that follow button on Twitch. For those who listen to the show for the first time, my audio podcast, please hit the follow button and give us 5 stars, please. If you can't give us 5 stars, I understand. But please, guys, 5 stars, 5 stars. And those who did give us the 5 stars, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Also, too, guys, you could follow us on Truth Social. That's right, guys. We are on True Social. You don't want censorship? You don't want shadow banning? Head over to Truth Social. Search the Patriot Angle Podcast. We're on True Social. We show everything. And we love that we're not being censored. So head over to there, guys. Got a lot of great content. Also on TikTok. You can follow us on TikTok. We got a lot of comical content and material over there. We do like to have fun with the followers. Please, guys, you want to send a comment. We will try to respond to all the comments that get sent in through social media on any of our platforms. So we're on it all, guys. You can find us just about everywhere. That being said, guys, thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you on the next one. Take it easy.